So fellas, what I want to do today is I want to do a belief shift with you. I want to do a belief shift just like we do in my client work. Now, this is a little bit different than client work, obviously, because there's a lot of us here. Well, comparatively speaking, there's probably like 75 people that will watch this, right? But like 75 people is a lot more than one. And when we're doing belief shifts, the best way to do it is in a customized setting, very one-on-one setting, so that the thing can really work at a deep level for that person. So let's talk about what a belief shift is. So have you ever had a moment where you feel like eureka, this like aha moment? Have you ever had a moment where something sinks in, where something clicks? That's the type of moment we're talking about here. Something sinks in, something clicks. It feels kind of like an aha moment or a eureka moment. So let me explain the differences between those. Something clicking or something sinking in, that's a belief shift. The aha moment or the eureka moment is the opposite of that. So I want you to imagine you have your conscious mind, and then you have your instinct, your gut, your unconscious mind, your spirit. That's all underneath the conscious. Okay, so we've got the conscious mind up here. We've got the gut under here. Okay. The aha moment is when your unconscious mind has been working on something. Your unconscious, subconscious mind has been formulating, putting things together. And then all of a sudden, that information is consolidated and it breaks the barrier between the unconscious and the conscious. And to your conscious mind, it feels like this revelation. You're like, oh, I get it. Oh, I just thought of this. Oh, I have this aha moment. Like, wow. Or the classical exclamation, eureka. Like, I figured it out. That's when the subconscious mind has been organizing data, has been working on something behind the scenes. It produces a congruent thought and pops that thought up into the conscious mind. That's that aha moment, the eureka moment. Okay, now let's talk about when something clicks, when something sinks in. It's the opposite, right? So when something clicks or sinks in, what we're talking about is when there's a concept in the conscious mind that's been sitting there for, could be years, man, could be decades, could be just a few days, could be just a few hours. But there's this concept in the conscious mind that's just an idea. It might be true. You might think it's true, but you don't truly believe it's true. Okay? And you can always tell what someone believes by what they do. Beliefs always dictate action. Beliefs are your rulers, and they do not always have your best interest at heart, but they are what dictates what you actually do. A lot of us say we believe certain things, but what's really happening is we think certain things in the conscious mind. And those thoughts, those concepts that we agree with have not sunk in or clicked in the unconscious mind. So examples of something clicking are things that you've known in your head all this time, and then you finally get it, right? You finally understand, even though you always understood, but now you get it. What is that sensation? I want you guys to think of that sensation. You all have had it before. When something clicks, when you get it, when it sinks in, that sensation, right? Some of you remember when you figured out how to ride a bike without training wheels. There's a moment when it clicks, right? I remember recently, I've done surfing, I've done wake surfing, I've done wakeboarding. I've done a lot of that kind of water thing. But a couple years ago at my men's retreat in Puerto Rico, we had a paddleboard out on the open ocean. And for whatever reason, dude, I was not the best at the paddleboard naturally. Like, maybe it's because with like the wake surf, the wakeboard, with the surfing, there's like force behind you and you can kind of orient yourself to that force. But maybe with the paddleboard, it's just unsteady and kind of floppy on the waves. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I was having trouble with the paddleboard, right? So I'm standing up on the paddleboard and I probably spent, 30, 45 minutes, like flopping around on the paddleboard, maybe even more than that, trying to like get my balance right. And I distinctly remember the moment when, before this moment, my conscious thoughts were like, okay, balance, 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 left side has too much weight. Okay, right side has too much weight. I'm leaning too far this way, leaning too far that way. Okay, conscious mind and focus is very, very strong. But then there was a moment when it shifted and I started to get the hang of it, right? It started to click, it started to sink in, and I wasn't having to use as much conscious thought on what my body was doing because my subconscious, my unconscious received all that information and it clicked, right? The belief shift is sort of a combination of those where it's like something clicks without necessarily you realizing it. It doesn't have to be a new thought, although it sometimes can be. It can be a new thought or not, but either way, it's that feeling of something clicking or sinking in. When you have that feeling, and it's not really an emotion, you guys know what I mean? It's not really this, you can't say it's like love or happiness or joy or excitement. You may feel those ways as a result of a belief shift, but the belief shift itself is not those emotions, right? So that's what a belief shift is. Hopefully you guys are on the same page. So I want to take this concept and I want to turn it into a belief for you guys. And the concept is consistency. Everybody's heard it a bazillion times that you need to be consistent. Well, what I want to do for the rest of this video is I want to create a belief shift in you around consistency. So what I want you to do is in the comments, I want you guys to be paying attention as you watch this video. Be really paying attention. Really give it your focus, your attention. And whenever you notice that feeling, whenever you notice that it clicks for you or it sinks in and the belief shift occurs, I want you to type the timestamp that you notice that in the comments. I just want to see where everybody gets the sensation, right? Put the timestamp in the comments when you feel like you get it, when you feel like it clicks for you, okay? Now, before we go on, I want you to know that just because a belief is formed doesn't mean that it's going to last. Just because a belief is shifted doesn't mean that shift is going to stay that way. Stronger beliefs can overpower it. You can get distracted. It's not necessarily a permanent change. That belief is like a seed in the sower and the seed. It's like something that takes root and it needs to be nurtured, watered, and protected, especially when it's new, when it's young. Because with this perspective shifting of belief shifts, we're not necessarily opening you up to the deepest part of your soul through like trauma or something. But anything that's super traumatic, that can do like a very long lasting belief very quickly. Obviously, we're not doing that here. So the beliefs that are formed here are going to have to be taken care of and watered and paid attention to. Okay, but start paying attention right now. And I want you to put in the comments whenever the belief actually shifts for you. So consistency, right? It's a concept up here. You know you're supposed to be consistent. Let's talk about what that really means. What does it really mean? And why does it really matter? Consistency is key. Yeah, we've all heard that a million times, but you're about to get it. You're about to actually get it. It's about to click for you. There's about to be a belief shift that takes this concept of consistency and drops it into your instinct, into your spirit. Okay, this is what I do with my one-on-one clients. So I want you to type in the comments when this happens for you, okay? To be consistent means to do the same things on the same frequency, the same pattern over and over, right? That's what consistency means. There is a hidden secret about consistency that nobody talks about. Consistency is how you improve your baseline, and improving your baseline is way more important than you think it is. What is your baseline? Your baseline is the basic line of your performance. So if you're going to the gym, if you're working on your diet, if you're posting content on social media, if you have a certain type of job that requires certain type of performance, if you're trying to get better grades, if you're competing in a sport, whatever it is, there's a baseline of performance. Like, Luke's performance in this is just right around here. It's this average baseline of performance, okay? Consistency enables you to increase your baseline. Because here's what a lot of us get into this, right? We don't want to perform if we don't feel like it. Maybe circumstances are bad, we're tired, we don't have any good ideas to create something, we are exhausted, sore, and maybe have a small injury and don't want to go to the gym. There's a lot of good reasons why it's a bad day, right? Consistency is broken on the bad days, obviously, right? That's when we break our consistency, is when we are having a bad day. The thing with the bad days is when you can make your bad days better, you improve the baseline. And you're like, yeah, but the bad days, I don't want to make those bad days better. Like, I want to make it's still going to be a bad day. Yeah, it's still going to be a bad day. But when your bad days get better, your baseline gets higher. Think about the baseline as literally a line that you're standing on. You're standing on this baseline. Your position at the baseline determines how high you can jump, right? Because if we're being honest, the baseline is not straight and even. It's kind of this average of this, right? Because this is how we grow. We don't grow just up and to the right permanently. We have this sort of fluctuation in the whole deal, right? So your baseline is the average median line that you stand on when you are trying to move forward, when you're trying to do anything. It's your basic line. The way that you improve that is you have to show up on your bad days. You're already going to show up on your good days. We all know that. You're not watching this video to say, how do I show up on my good days? You already do that, right? You're here because you're not always showing up as well as you want to, and you want to get better. The way you get better, is it by trying really hard on your great days and executing when you feel like it? Sure. But if you're trying to reach here, think about this, guys. If you're trying to reach here, are you going to be able to reach here if you're standing on a baseline that's here or here? Think about it. If this is where you're trying to go, does it make more sense to jump from a baseline that's here or here? You want to have a higher baseline that you're jumping from to get to where you want to go. If your baseline is higher, it will be easier for you to do better when you're feeling good. Do you understand? When you are feeling great, oh, I feel amazing, I'm ready to go crush it today. Because you have those days, you will have those days. When you have those days, you will be able to do more when the baseline is higher already. When the baseline is higher already, you will be able to do more. So when they tell you consistency is key, this is starting to sink in. This is starting to sink in for you guys. Consistency is key. Why? Not because you will produce better videos or you will have better workouts or you will build your business more with repetition. That's not the entirety of the truth. The entirety of the truth is that as you build your baseline, which may remain unimpressive for quite some time, then whenever you make a jump, you'll be able to reach even higher. So showing up on your bad days is consistency. And you're going to say, Luke, you don't understand. On my bad days, I don't even want to get out of bed. On my bad days, I just want to scroll my phone. On my bad days, I just want to be like, whatever it is. You literally have no motivation, you're in a terrible headspace, whatever. It's clicking for some of you right now. You need to improve your baseline. On your bad days, I'm not telling you to go do the best performance of your life. On your bad days, I'm telling you, improve your baseline. Because what starts to happen is every time you refuse to let that baseline fall below a certain level, every time that baseline bounces off a hard floor and gets a little bit higher, you're setting yourself up for success the next day. It's still gonna be bad. Your performance is gonna be worse than it would on another day. You're gonna show up, you're gonna do the thing, and it's gonna be not good. It's gonna be bad. You're not gonna feel good afterward. You're gonna think, what was the point? But then you're gonna remember that you're improving your baseline. Because here's the trick. See, here's what they don't tell you about consistency. It doesn't help you achieve these massive wins directly. But what it does is it raises your baseline ever so slightly over time. You have to play the long game. When you're making your bad days just a little bit less bad, just a little bit better, when you're raising the baseline slowly over time, then it's getting slightly easier to turn good into great. And then one day, you're going to wake up and your baseline is actually going to be good. You're going to be doing good on your bad days. Does that make sense? Some of you, it just clicked right there. Consistency is about making your bad days good. It's about making your baseline over time being good. And some of you are like, there's no way. There is 100% a way. For some people, $10,000 a month is a terrible month. It's because their baseline has gone up so much. Do you think that their baseline is the same as yours? Or do you think that it maybe started the same as yours and then slowly rose over time? For some people, going to the gym only twice a week is like unthinkable because their baseline is at 4. For you, it's at 0. But you try to go to the gym 4 times a week, and that's great. But you need to get your baseline to 1. You need to get your baseline to 2, right? This is a process. Consistency, the magic in it is that it improves your baseline to the point that your bad days are better than your former self's good days. It can totally happen. Consistency is the thing that allows you to make these tiny, tiny, tiny little bits of growth. Don't get discouraged. Some of you guys are getting discouraged because you're not making as fast of a progress as you want to make. I would suggest to you that you are not falling in love with consistency. You are not falling in love with consistency and raising your baseline. The basic line that you stand on is not getting any higher. You're consistently spinning out and burning out. You're consistently trying really, really hard and then crashing. And I'm telling you, that's not actual consistency. Consistency is just little raises in the baseline. Remember, the baseline is the floor. Little increases in the baseline. You will increase your baseline a little bit every single day until one day you wake up and you realize that 2 years ago, your baseline would have been an amazing day. You realize, oh, if my 2 years ago self could see me today, they would think my bad days are amazing. This happens very, very slowly. I was on a call with my men's group recently. We were talking about what does it mean to have a good day? Like, what are all the things that you need to have in order to have a good day? And I listed off some things. And one of my guys asked, well, Luke, like, you didn't mention reading the Bible. Like, I feel like reading the Bible is part of a good day, right? And I said, hey, man, you're totally right. I apologize. The truth is, I read the Bible on my bad days too. I read the Bible basically every day. And right now we're doing a 1-year Bible challenge, but this conversation was last year. So, you know, they didn't know I was reading the Bible every day at that time. Obviously I am now officially with the 1-year Bible challenge, but do you catch the point there? My client, my men's group client, he didn't understand why I didn't mention the Bible as something that I would read on a good day. And it's because reading the Bible for me is not unique to my good days. It's something I do on my bad days too, right? In other words, my baseline has improved. Have I always been that way? No. I improved my baseline through consistency. Does that mean I read 5 chapters of the Bible every day? No. It means I read a little bit every day. And I created a baseline of reading every day so that on my bad days, I still read a little bit. As opposed to years before, on my bad days, I didn't read at all. Do you get it? Is it clicking? Is it sinking in? Consistency is making your bad days better. That's the secret. Does it do a lot of other things too? Yes. Consistency is good for a lot of reasons. But the thing that you've been missing is that it makes your baseline of bad days better. And over time, your bad days look like your good days now. Your bad days get so much better that they are even better than what your good days are now. You've improved your baseline. Drop in the comments below when that belief shift happened for you and work on improving your baseline consistencies, guys. If you want to talk more on any of this, you know where to find me. This is For the Boys, episode 40. Y'all take care.